The title of my sermon is The Storm is in the Boat. Our passage today is Jesus walking on the water. We are in year A, so we're reading Matthew's account. Luke does not include this miracle, and Matthew is the only gospel account where it is mentioned that Peter walks on water. This miracle follows chronologically just after the feeding of the 5,000. Jesus goes to a place of solitude after hearing of the death of John the Baptist. Jesus sends the disciples ahead in a boat. While Jesus is praying and the disciples are on the sea, a storm arises. Jesus walks about 2 miles on the water to meet his disciples near the boat. In the Mark and John's account, Jesus is central in the narrative, and the miracle of Jesus walking on the water brings proof of the deity of Jesus. Matthew's account is about Jesus' deity, but climactically ends with Peter walking on the water and focuses on discipleship. Who do we identify in this passage? Do we see ourselves as Jesus walking on the water? Probably not. Do we see ourselves as Peter, who dared to leave the safety of a boat to be with Jesus? Probably not. Do we see ourselves as the disciples in the boat watching all of this in amazement? This is where I see myself. Not extremely helpful to use the characters in this passage to make application of this text today. Since we are in Matthew and we have Peter and discipleship to focus on, let's explore how this passage might speak to us today. Since the characters are not terribly helpful, let's work with the symbolic elements. Perhaps the place of safety for the disciples, the boat, could be seen as the church, and the storm could be seen as this life-threatening virus. Shifting the elements to our lives today, the storm, this life-threatening virus, is most deadly in large gatherings of people, where people sit close to each other, sing and recite together, embrace each other, living in close community. That sounds to me like the church. Therefore, ironically, the boat is no longer a place of safety, but a place of danger, danger to ourselves and to the larger community. The challenge today, given to us by those in authority, is to not return to the boat in the ways we are accustomed to. The boat with the storm within, and walk alone or in small groups to be with Jesus in calm solitude and in more personal, physically distant, smaller groups. This isn't the same experience for all of us. Some are quite content to be away from the crowds enjoying a good book, while others are hungry for the companionship of those who have left the boat for a time. Jesus was okay with Peter walking on the water, but did not ask the disciples to follow his example, but rather rebuked Peter for his lack of faith. Jesus didn't ask Peter to venture out of the boat, but responded to Peter's desire by saying, "Come." We're not given the choice of staying in the boat. So as reluctant Peters, we have left the boat to be with Jesus in a new, exciting, scary, stormy kind of way. We are challenged to walk in the calm and endure the storm within. Amen.